With so much of what we see online focusing on drama and negativity, it's important for us to take time and look at the positive things and celebrate our wins. Greetings everyone, welcome to the underground lair where we bring our creations to life. I'm Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. I'm a professional illustrator, designer, and mad creator. One of the things I like to do on this channel is just provide art and inspiration and advice for you guys on your artistic journey or creative path. But every once in a while, I like to do one episode that's kind of just for me. But I still think you guys are going to get some value out of this because really, I realize that I've accomplished something and I think I need to take time to celebrate that. So I want to kind of do that with you and kind of put in your minds this idea of when we complete something or we're working on a project and it's going well or whatever the case is, we just take that time to kind of celebrate what we're working on, what we've accomplished, because as artists, we don't always get that sort of recognition from other people. So what's going on with me? Well, things are going pretty well. I've accomplished something that I've been working on for a little while. If you guys know me, you know that I create a comic called Young and the Dead. This is the first issue here. I've got 3 other issues, but I have just finished the 5th issue. I just wrapped up the cover and completed, basically all the files are ready to go to print. And this is a project, it's sort of a back burner project. I mean, I talk about it a lot, but it's really something that I just kind of do when I have time to do it in the midst of all the other stuff that I'm working on, but it is a passion of mine. And the fact that I've got this next issue in this chapter done, I'm super excited about. And there's some big reveals in here. If you're not familiar with the story, it's a kid versus zombie story. It's like Goonies meets Night of the Living Dead. It takes place in the 80s nostalgia, all that stuff. And in this issue, if you're following the story, or if you're not, you probably understand that there's this zombie outbreak. But in this issue, there's a pretty big reveal, and we get to see who or what is behind that. So I'm excited to put that out there. It may be a little while before I get it to you because I want to run a Kickstarter. And I don't know, it's been a while since I've run a Kickstarter. And I think things have changed a little bit. There's a lot going on as far as, with inflation and with shipping, all the issues with the shipping chain and all that stuff like that. And I know there's been some changes with like the EU and the, I guess it's just a big mess to ship overseas to some places in Europe and everything. So I get to re-educate myself and all that. So that's something that I've got to get into before, because I really do want to run a Kickstarter and get some support to put this thing out there in a big way. And a lot of that, as far as the Kickstarter, is timing. I don't, as much as I'd probably like to start it out next month in May, but realistically, if you've ever run a Kickstarter, it's pretty intensive and there's a lot of stuff you have to focus on. And May's kind of busy because I've got some other cool stuff coming up, like Free Comic Book Day. I always participate in Free Comic Book Day. I will be at my local comic book store doing signings and probably some remarks and commissions and things like that. I always look forward to that. That's not always something that I do. I don't really take commissions through my website or anything like that, but that's one place where I like to do that kind of thing. So I am looking forward to that, but there's that. And then also, convention season starting back up. And even though back in 2019, before the pandemic, I decided, I am going to step back from doing conventions, which is probably a good idea seeing what happened. But so I stepped back and just because I think for me, I was spending so much time with the prep and everything, and I was building these elaborate, booths and things like that. It was just, I just don't know it was worth it with all the time that it went into it. And I was doing pretty well with some of my digital products and things like that. So I sort of shifted that way. But I miss doing those, especially after the couple years we've had. I miss being, doing those events in person and everything. So I will actually be at one of the big show that I usually do is Phoenix Fan Fusion. Used to be Phoenix Comic Con. It's usually every year, sometime in May. So even though I'm not going to have a presence there as far as my own booth or anything, I will be there again with my local comic store, at their booth signing and everything. What I'm looking forward to is I'll get a chance to do that, still get a chance to talk to everyone. But this will be one of the few times at a comic convention, since I'm not really exhibiting, that I can actually go and, you know, have time to look around and do my own thing, and maybe even sit on some panels and things like that. So super, you know, I'm really looking forward to that. But because of all that, I don't think I can launch in May, so it may be probably June before I launch the Kickstarter. So, and I will keep you guys posted on all that. But I'm just super excited that I finished it and that it is ready to go. It's a big accomplishment, so I just kind of wanted to celebrate that with you guys. So, what else has been going on? Recently, I started a new comic book project. This is it's sort of an industry comics. I do a few of these things. This one, it has to do with the healthcare industry and cybersecurity and everything. But, you know, with these kind of corporate style comics, I like to put my own spin on it, make it fun and everything. So I'm working with somebody who've established sort of a superhero team that fights, you know, fights the dark web and everything, and hackers and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to kind of upgrade them. I'm putting some of my own takes on this and everything. So I'm right now I'm writing the script for it, or actually I finished writing the script. And because I don't have time to illustrate it myself, I'm looking for the right artist and everything. And that seems to be a little more difficult than I was planning on it, which is kind of good, because I've contacted probably like 10 artists that I really think would be right for the project. And it's like they're all busy with their own projects. So in a way, it's kind of good that artists are getting work, because you hear about how hard it is for comic book artists, but all of these artists are, you know, apparently busy enough where they can turn down really pretty good paying work. So that's good to know, but I'm still kind of on the hunt for that artist. But I may do a dedicated video to all of that. But anyway, that's one of the other projects I've got going on right now. Another thing that I recently started doing is I got back to sending out my newsletters and everything. And if you aren't familiar with the newsletter, if you sign up for the newsletter, you also get the digital pack of all kinds of tools for making comics. It's a great pack. But for a while, I didn't really know what to do with my newsletter, and I switched over to Substack. It's kind of a combination between a newsletter and a blog, and I am really liking it a lot, because I seem to get more interaction from people when I send them out because of the blog element and everything. So, and basically, the newsletter is like what I talk about on YouTube: art, inspiration, and advice. So I've got a section on art. I kind of talk about what I'm doing, a section on advice, and I'll give a little bit of advice for you guys, again, on your creative paths, and then inspiration, and then sometimes it's photographs I've taken, or just things that I like that I've kind of curated that I'm putting out there just to kind of inspire you guys. So right now I'm kind of sending it out every couple weeks or so. I may, if the reaction keeps being positive and everything, I may, you know, dedicate a little more time and get that out on a even more timely basis, because I don't know, I've subscribed to a few newsletters, and when I get things in my inbox that are inspirational and everything like that, I really appreciate it and everything, and it sparks ideas and everything. So I'm looking forward to doing more of that kind of stuff. So if you aren't on my newsletter, you can go to my website and you get the free comic maker toolkit, all that stuff, or not toolkit, but starter kit. So definitely check that out. And the last thing that I want to talk about is the kind of the future of this channel. And if you are on my Patreon, you may already have heard me talk about this, and I can't remember how much I've talked about this here on YouTube, but I'm sharing some of those things on YouTube, the little not YouTube, but Patreon, some of the behind the scenes stuff. One of the things that I'm doing right now, and it took a little backseat while I took on this other project, writing the script for this other comic book project, but now that's kind of that big part of that's done, once I shift everything over to getting a team of artists working on the artwork and everything, I'll have more time to dedicate this. But really planning on expanding the underground lair here, and I just want to create a new workstation where I can do more live streaming, a bigger desk where I can do some of the things that I used to do on this channel that I really haven't done a lot recently, and that's like creating fun projects and things like that, and just having the space to do that. Doing what was originally my intention with the whole art lab thing was experimenting and testing things out, trial and error, trying to figure out how to kind of make cool stuff and everything. Still doing comic content because obviously I'm a huge comic book fan, but I've just got a lot of great ideas and things that I guess I haven't had time to put into. But I think with this new space, I think it's going to be a lot better. I'm going to, create some really cool content. That may be a little far off, but like I said, if you decide to join the Patreon, then you'll get to kind of see some of that stuff to come together. Even like building that, it's more behind the scenes. You get to kind of draw the curtains back, break the fourth wall down. You get to see a little bit more of that on Patreon, as well as get these videos. You get these videos early so you can see them before anyone else. Yeah, so that's some of the stuff that I'm working on. And so far, again, I'm just really, the comic book's a big deal that I got that finished, and I'm looking forward to starting the next issue. The good thing about that is the script is already done, and that will be the final issue. Number 6 will be the final issue, so I'm really looking forward to wrapping up the story and everything. But I will keep you posted on, when that Kickstarter is going to happen, when that book's going to be available to you guys. And I want to do a lot of prep so that when I'm not one of these people that, when I do a Kickstarter, you gotta wait like forever to get the reward. I like to get it out as soon as possible. I usually deliver ahead of schedule. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on. Again, just really wanted to bring home this notion of celebrating your wins. So I want to know, what about you guys? What is something that you've been working on, either something you finished or is going really well, that you want to kind of celebrate? And celebrate that in the comment sections. Just drop me a line in there, tell me what you're working on. I want to know. I'm always curious what other creators have going on and anything that they've done. Maybe something for the first time, something that you're really proud of, because like I said, celebrating those wins, because again, as artists, we don't always get the recognition or the admiration that we probably deserve, because we're working hard on this stuff. So let me know in the comment section. I will talk to you guys later. That is all. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Also, you can follow me at Serkworks on social media, and now you can support the work that I do on Patreon. Do you like making comics? Then go to Serkworks.com and pick up the Comic Maker Starter Kit. It's packed full of fonts, brushes, templates, and more. And best of all, it's totally free.